few small items to start off with, one of which is the RAZR Plus, is that it gains the color called Peach Fuzz. Can't really describe it any better than the name, but there it is. I suppose if I were to try, we'll actually throw up the image on the screen for you guys. It's sort of like a cream salmon pinkish color, but I like it. And it's still on discount for $6.99, I believe, so little throw-in deal there for you.
It's a rare color.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to say about that, but yes, Peach Fuzz, lovely. Meta is finally releasing Threads in the UK on December 14th. This actually comes about by an Easter egg found on Instagram from Threads, showing an image that has sort of a ticket look to it. It has a European Union stamp on it and has the date December 14th, 2023. So it's not really much of an Easter egg, but it's pretty obvious. But yeah, nothing else really to discuss here other than you Brits are going to be able to have Threads now. So enjoy.
Yay.
Yeah, I know
that's what you want.
Yeah, if that's what you're up for. Although I guess really X isn't, a better option either. I don't know. I feel like they're both kind of at the same level, but anyway.
Yeah, Axis came down and Threads is
threading through the needle. I
don't
guess
know. Threads has never really been.
It's just there. But
it's just there. At least that's what I feel. But another quick item pertains to former Stadia gamers. As of December 31st, it is your last chance to enable the Bluetooth connectivity via an online service portal that Google provides. So if you end up not doing this, after the 31st, they will evidently be turning that off, and your controller will effectively be rendered useless. So we've kind of talked about this in the past, but there is kind of like a question as to whether maybe like a third-party website would offer this service after Google takes it down. But those are always sketchy, so it's not something I'd really advocate.
Right.
So not a good thing to gamble, in my opinion, pushing that off. So you do have about less than 3 weeks. So, yeah.
I guess get on it while you can.
Yeah, I mean, the basis behind that is the fact that it would allow you to connect to like other platforms, possibly other consoles. So that way the remote or the controller's not, just a paperweight.
It's a good way of pressuring, and I'm not sure, I don't want to say anything against, Stadia or anything, but good way of pressuring people to try and get it, also for the idea of, peer pressure as well. But, yeah, 3 weeks. YouTube has just released a new feature called Pause, where essentially a creator can pause comments from his or her creator studio. Unlike before, where you could only disable comments or hold certain comments for review, and that can range from mild to like review every dang comment. Now you can actually still show the comments below the video, but if you pause it, you can't add any more comments to it. It's just there. And one other thing to note about this is YouTube has found that people who are using Pause are able to, a couple of the reasons why they like it so much is because they're able to gain more flexibility over how they manage their comments. Another thing is that they're able to take a break from managing comments if they become overwhelmed without having to turn them off completely. So it just adds a little bit of a barrier there, an extra sort of, how would you say, layer, just to be able to have a bit more control.
And stuff.
So, I'll share my thoughts, how I feel about it, but think it's a solid feature, or you think YouTube's going to take the knife to it in a couple months?
I don't know. This is one of those things where I feel I haven't been with them long enough to know for sure that's how they work with creators. But I do feel like their YouTube Studio and their tools for creators has always been beneficial. And I think this is one of those instances where I expect it to stick around. And I like the idea of it just to give the creator some options to work with. Because it's their channel. So to give them more customization and stuff like that, to manage it better and kind of what suits them. I like this idea. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely allows the ability to have a little more freedom with this, because I've always been against the idea of actually disabling comments full on, unless it's like a really serious matter and you don't want to get any types of, division or anything.
Apple
in the comments
keynotes, yeah, one of those.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And obviously, the only other things of which disable comments is if you have your video labeled as set only for kids. That was because of COPPA back in 2018 established there. But yes, I think it's good to have old comments on there just to see what other people thought. There's actually something I would like to talk about, and I don't know if we have the time to, but it's that whole idea of comments a few years ago used to be more of direct comments to the video, whereas I feel like comments now are, memes pretty much every time. I don't feel like it holds any value to the actual video, but we could talk about that later on or whatever. But the point is, I think it's a really good addition to this. I hope YouTube keeps it, actually. So
yeah, I don't know. I think that's something that they could actually evolve with the tools that AI provides, with kind of detecting what comments are and how
that's a good point.
Typical replies to that would kind of deter from kind of what the creator wants to be in the thread section. So yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from that. And as of yet, not that we've had any issues with the comments on our channel, we're actually trying to get people to comment.
Yes,
but,
please comment.
Yeah, I like it. So I don't really have anything other opinions to say on that matter. So
that's it.
Sticking right along with Google, actually, there's been a lot of attention around messaging services and apps, and some of which we'll get to here soon. But based on the beta code, Google Messages is expected to receive the edit sent message feature that we're all familiar with. I can't comment too much on this just because it hasn't been revealed as to when it will be released. And we're not really sure on the specifics of how long after the message is sent will it be able to be edited by the sender, nor whether or not the recipient will be able to see any edit history. So, but for right now, this is definitely something that I welcome and I'm actually looking forward to. So
this is one of those features where I feel like, and I did see this earlier today, this is one of those features where I feel like it should have been already added. I don't see a reason why it took them this long, considering, well, not to bring Apple into this conversation, but Apple has had that for, well, actually, no, they did just release it last year or
iOS
year
16,
before.
yeah. I think
16,
WhatsApp has it too, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah, so I guess it is a fairly new thing, but still, I think
Discord has it, doesn't it?
Oh, that's a good... Yes, they do have the ability for you to edit.
Because I remember using it the other day when we were in our admin chat and I was trying to edit a message.
Yeah,
so,
you can edit a message in Discord too. So regardless, this is still a needed feature. I feel like for any messaging app or whatever, it's really needed, because one thing that JD and I do a lot, or used to do before Edit came into Apple, was we'd always have to put asterisks every time we wanted to restate a word that we didn't want to state. So
yeah.
But yeah. Another piece of solid info from YouTube is that they have now lowered the latency of streaming from a live broadcast to YouTube TV. Many have wanted this specifically for live games like the NFL, MLB, and other such things. And as it happens, majority of cable providers offer low latency viewing, so it makes sense for YouTube TV since they are becoming extremely prevalent in that regard. Now, YouTube has mentioned that though this feature is added, your connection may be more likely to be interrupted. So it's kind of like one of those give and take sort of ordeals. So yeah, not a whole lot to say here, but I'm glad that YouTube TV is working diligently to provide that type of support to one of their factions, especially this one, because, it can get a little bit annoying when everyone else is already seeing something before you, JD.
Yeah. That whole spoiler alert.
But
it's not my fault I have an antenna.
Yeah, it's still annoying though. I see a play and I'm like, oh, that's amazing, and then he just tells me it's something that's already happening later on, like a touchdown or whatever. But anyway, but yeah, that should hopefully help. I don't really have a lot to say in regards to this, but what do you think?
No, I don't either. I guess I shouldn't be really surprised that it's having an effect on the stability of the stream, because you're kind of... I would think that you would have to lower the quality or have some sort of adjustment so that way you could get the stream closer to the live setting. But yeah, I guess I'm glad it's there.
Yeah.
I wish it would be a little bit more... I don't know. It's a lot to ask for a streaming service to do that. So
It is.
I think it's always going to be that way, unless I don't know what else you could possibly do except to have, every single source and receiver have, fiber optics. That way the stream is just continuous no matter
Yes.
what.
Yeah.
But that's more of a theory, really. So.
True.
But yeah, I'm in favor of that for sure, and I'm looking forward to see what else YouTube TV and even how Sunday Ticket will evolve as well. So.
Yeah, me too.
But iOS 17.2 has officially been released to the public. We've recapped quite a few features on our last episode.
We have.
Mostly that was sourced from the betas. However, two features that we didn't mention intentionally were because they were removed from the 17.2 build. And they are expected to come sometime early next year. And they were the AirPlay on hotel TVs. And the second was collaborative playlist via Apple Music. Now, the prior I wasn't so disappointed on as far as it being delayed, just because I don't travel that much, so it's not like a big deal for me. I'm probably in hotels maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and that's it.
Yes.
I'm sure we probably have listeners who travel more than I do.
Oh, yeah.
But the collaborative playlist, I was actually really looking forward to that, just because I feel like that's more of a fun thing to do to, kind of add and edit and playlist with other iPhone users. So that's something that I was really excited about. But in either case, we'll have to wait and see when that surfaces here in 2024. So
yeah, I actually was looking at that as well, the collaborative CarPlay. But we have actually another thing with 17.2 that we also didn't mention last week, and that has to do with it's sort of like the whole name sharing thing, except this has to do with sharing boarding passes, movie tickets, and other such things. To use this feature.
It's a feature.
It's a feature.
For your feet.
Yes. To use this feature. To use the feature, open the Wallet app and tap on the pass that you want to share. Then hold your iPhone near the top of another iPhone, and a share button will appear below the pass on your iPhone. Then simply tap on the share button to send the pass to the other iPhone via AirDrop. So, yeah, this is, again, not a whole lot to say on this one. It's just another addition, so it's more spread out. You have more various options to send those types of things to another person. So it's needed. I mean, it's not like I'm amazed by it, but I think it's a good addition.
Sounds essentially like Apple Pay, where you just select which credit card you want to use, and then you just tap it to another iPhone and share the boarding pass. Which, I mean, it's cool. It's just another way of being more simplistic and smooth with the transfer and stuff. So,
Yep.
But in either case, we will move on to some deals here. We have the Xbox Diablo 4 bundle down from $560 to $454 on Amazon. So
sweet. And the Apple 2020 MacBook Air, the M1 chip, 13-inch Retina display, is from $999 to $750, which is a 25% off deal. And the variation for that one is the 8 gig RAM, 256 gig SSD. And I believe it doesn't really depend on any of the color. I'm pretty sure, it has the same deal for either of those 3 colors. And like I always mention, you can do a monthly payment on that as well. So you're not spending an arm and a leg at once. But, yep.
Yeah. What 3 colors did they come in, actually? I forgot. It was space gray.
I'll let you guess. Go ahead. Yep. First 2 are right.
What was this? 2020? Oh, this is the M1.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I forgot what the third one was.
It's gold.
It's gold. Okay.
Although I feel like this one looks a little more rose gold to me, but that might just be because of the way the image is showing. But
probably, yeah. So this has become quite the little novel we've got going here. We've had nothing come and go with their attempt. We've had Apple lay to rest all the doubts of RCS support for next year, which is coming. We had Beeper Mini come along with their impressive introduction of purebred iMessaging on Android.
Yep.
And within the last week, we've had Apple take a stance on shutting down Beeper's service access to iMessage, eliciting an onrush of controversy for sure.
Yeah.
This was all done in the name of security and privacy for their users, when in reality, SMS is still the unencrypted form of communication between the two platforms. Whereas what Beeper has done, according to the CEO, is provide an end-to-end encryption for both Android and iPhone users through their application. Now, in the latest chapter, Beeper has responded with the statement that they are back. But in truth, this is only in the aspect of being able to do so through Apple ID login.
Yes.
The phone number registration still isn't back and up and running. And truthfully, I'm actually kind of doubtful as to whether they'll actually get this back all the way. Just because I don't know exactly what Apple had to do to shut it off, but I'd be surprised if Apple or Beeper did succeed in this. So, the amazing part to all of this, aside from the emotions, the sides that are taken, the tweets, the articles, the news anchors, just all the controversy, is that you would think that if Apple was really about the revenue, they would do what Beeper is doing and charge a small fee per month so that Android users could have iMessage access.
That is a fair point.
Why that's not the case, I think that's more so just because it's another side to their walled garden that they're trying to build, which is really unfortunate because I think Riley, he and I agree that their implementation of RCS is just to shut up the EU.
Yeah.
And they're kind of probably make it as dumbed down as possible. Quite frankly, the whole entire, if you want iMessage, buy an iPhone is pretty pathetic because it goes back to what I said last week of, you're really not that confident in your product that you have to have this one little nugget of gold that locks everyone in. I think that's pretty pathetic. So,
yeah.
But, I'm not sure if you have any opinions or closing thoughts to this as we wrap up the episode, but there it is.
Yeah, it's one other thing to note as well. Beeper's return here, they actually offered it for free instead of having to pay the $2. Because at this point, it's almost sad in a sense because they were trying to do a good thing for consumers. Yeah. Apple ruined it. And this is our take, so you guys can take it how you will. Apple ruined it. Yeah. And then Beaver's just like, you know what, let's just offer it for free. And it's almost sad that Apple has to play that card of, all right, well, now you just have Apple ID and no one's going to trust that because you already had Sunbird screw it up. So go ahead, play your card now. And it really frustrated me. And I was telling JD over the weekend, because we were both absolutely frustrated by this. I was like, I had a feeling Apple was going to play this card. I just was hopeful they wouldn't. They've always been with, semantics in the past of being controlling, just like JD mentioned, about a lot of the aspects of their company. And to some degree, I agree with that. I think you do need to have security on your own side. And
some things I support, yes.
Some things that they've done in the past, I've supported 100%. Because it's their company and you want to make sure everything's secure and it works properly. But this whole excuse of, we just want to make sure it's secure for our customers is like, really? Are you really trying to do that? I don't think so. I think this is completely one-sided and it's just ridiculous. We could talk about this honestly for another full episode, but
we could break this down really bad, but yeah.
But the whole point is just, I hope that Beeper comes back or Apple maybe sees the light on this one because it's true. Their whole RCS thing it's like half butt. It really is. And it would just be great to have that, united connection, if you will. And
we were all, for those who actually, I think it was 100 or 200,000 that downloaded it, we were all living in harmony with iPhone users.
For once.
I was really excited to have that on my OnePlus 11, and I was texting Riley and everything like that, and everything was just there. There were some couple features like message effects that weren't working. Obviously, that hadn't been added.
Right, minor things.
I just loved it because I was on my Android and didn't have to worry about anything. Now, granted, there was the two apps between Google Messages and Beeper that I had to use, like I was saying. But outside of that, I was perfectly fine with the way it was working, and I was glad that this was something that was available. I'm not really sure how this is going to unfold. I've heard and I've seen some posts that the EU is actually supporting Apple in this. I don't know how true that is because that doesn't sound like the EU.
No.
So I'm saying that with no backup of credibility on my part, and that's just kind of went out there. I'm not sure what kind of litigations or mandatory things that are going to come about, as far as, government interruptions. But this is one of those things that we'll have to wait and see for the next chapter to unfold here, because I'm sure there's going to be more coming in this one. This is it's a mix of emotions of me being frustrated and then just kind of watching it unfold as it happens.
I know.
And
that's
this one is, this one's a little bit more, it's a little different than the whole entire Epic showdown between them and Apple. This one is, I don't know. It's born unique in my opinion.
It's more personal.
But that's kind of what I feel. Yeah, kind of more personal, and it just depends on like how much, groups of people voice, their reactions to it all, and kind of see what happens. So,
and again, sorry. And again, just to point this last thing out, I've said it before, but it's true. We are Apple consumers. We love their products, but even we can see, the reality of the situation unfold. And it's not hard to tell. So, but yeah, we're both completely frustrated by this, but hopefully things turn out good. I don't know if they will, but
yeah, but that's why we're here. We'll keep you guys updated.
Yep.
That'll do it for this week's episode. This is JD and Riley. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace out.